Imagine waking up tomorrow with no electricity, no grocery stores, and no modern conveniences. Would you know how to find food, water, or shelter? For most of us, the answer is probably no. But for our ancestors, survival wasn't just a challenge, it was daily life. Welcome to Deca Facts, where we dive deep into the history, politics, and survival lessons that still shape our world today. In this video, we're counting down 10 ancient survival skills that could save you today. Stick around until number 1. It's the single most powerful survival skill that kept civilizations alive for thousands of years, and it may surprise you how relevant it still is in our modern age. 10. Fire making without matches. Before lighters and matches, fire was life itself. Ancient people mastered flint and steel, bow drills, and fire plows to spark flames. But it wasn't just about knowing the technique, it was about patience, practice, and choosing the right materials. Dry grass, bark shavings, or even animal dung were used as tinder. Fire gave warmth in freezing nights, cooked food that was otherwise inedible, and kept predators at bay. Today, survival experts often say, if you can make fire, you can survive. Even with modern gear, learning primitive fire making is still taught in military and wilderness training worldwide. 9. Tracking animals. Imagine walking through a forest and reading it like a book. That's what ancient trackers did. Native American hunters, for example, could tell the difference between fresh and old tracks, determine an animal's weight from the depth of a footprint, and even follow subtle signs like bent grass or disturbed insects. Tracking wasn't just about hunting for food, it was about understanding the entire ecosystem. Being able to detect predators or find herds could save lives. Today, search and rescue teams still rely on these techniques to find lost hikers. 8. Foraging for edible plants. Before supermarkets, survival meant knowing the difference between a meal and a poison. Ancient foragers identified berries, nuts, roots, and herbs that sustained life, but also avoided deadly ones like nightshade and hemlock. In some cultures, this knowledge was passed down through oral tradition and seasonal rituals. For example, early Europeans used nettles for food and medicine, while indigenous peoples in North America knew exactly which mushrooms were safe. Even now, modern preppers and homesteaders study wild edibles because if supply chains fail, nature may be the only pantry left. 7. Building shelter with natural materials. Exposure to the elements can kill faster than hunger or thirst. That's why ancient people became masters at using what the land provided. Wigwams, lean-tos, clay huts, and thatched roofs were all designed to resist rain, wind, or snow. Even a simple debris hut made of sticks and leaves can raise body temperature enough to prevent hypothermia. The lesson here? You don't need fancy equipment, just knowledge and resourcefulness. That same principle applies in modern disasters when people are forced to improvise housing after storms, floods, or earthquakes. 6. Navigating without tools. Before GPS, navigation meant reading the earth and sky. Polynesian sailors memorized star maps, wave patterns, and the flight paths of seabirds to cross thousands of miles of ocean without ever getting lost. Vikings used the sunstone, a crystal that could detect sunlight even on cloudy days. Learning natural navigation today is more than a party trick. If your phone dies or technology fails, knowing how to orient yourself using the North Star or the position of the sun could mean the difference between staying lost and finding safety. If you're fascinated by how ancient knowledge still applies today, go ahead and hit that like button so more history lovers and preppers can discover this video. And if you're new here, make sure to subscribe to Deca Facts. We release 3 new videos every week exploring history, politics, and survival lessons that matter. 5. Water purification. Water is life, but only if it's safe. Ancient cultures developed ingenious methods to purify it. They boiled it in clay pots, filtered it through layers of sand and charcoal, or used natural antiseptics like moringa seeds to clean water. The importance hasn't changed. In fact, in disaster zones today, waterborne diseases often claim more lives than the disaster itself. Learning how to clean water with ancient methods is a survival essential. 4. Toolmaking and knapping. A sharp edge changed everything. Early humans shaped stone into knives, arrowheads, and scrapers. Later, bone and antler tools expanded what was possible. These tools allowed people to hunt, butcher, build, and even defend themselves. The skill of flint knapping, chipping stone into a blade, is still practiced today by archaeologists and bushcrafters. It's not just historical curiosity, it's a reminder that technology starts with the simplest tools. 3. Fishing and trapping. Ancient people didn't rely on luck to catch dinner, they used strategy. Fishing weirs, which is stone walls built in rivers, funneled fish into traps. Simple woven nets and hooks carved from bone provided steady food sources. Traps like deadfalls and snares meant hunters could conserve energy while still gathering food. In survival situations today, efficiency is everything, and these ancient methods remain effective. 2. Storing and preserving food. Civilizations that thrived were planners. Ancient Egyptians sun-dried fish, Vikings salted and smoked meat, and Native Americans created pemmican, a calorie-dense mix of dried meat, fat, and berries that could last for years. Preservation meant freedom from constant hunting and protection against famine. Modern preppers still rely on these methods because canned food might not always be available. 1. Community survival and cooperation. The ultimate survival skill wasn't fire or food, it was people working together. Ancient tribes survived not because individuals were tough, but because communities shared labor, knowledge, and protection. Cooperation built cities, defended borders, and carried traditions across generations. Even today, in disasters, it's often neighbors helping neighbors that makes the biggest difference. These 10 ancient survival skills show us something powerful. Technology changes, but the fundamentals of survival don't. Fire, food, water, shelter, and community, these are timeless. Which of these skills would you want to master first? Fire making, foraging, or maybe navigation? Drop your thoughts in the comments. I'd love to know what you'd practice first. And remember, this is Deca Facts, and we bring you history and politics 3 times a week. If you want to keep learning from the past to prepare for the future, make sure to like, share, and subscribe. Thanks for watching. See you in the next countdown.